Well, sub life vlogs forever. Hopefully not. Just had some other realizations about subbing today. I mean, things I thought before, but I don't think I put into words in the vlog anyway, just to people personally when I speak to them one-on-one. But one thing, I don't know, just again, like, one of the things that's so difficult about subbing, for me anyway, is the fact that I'm there so temporarily that I can't affect any change. And so one thing that I mean by that is, like, it's not as rewarding because I'm not making connections. I'm not, like, there long enough to have any influence or inspire or to listen to students and, like, be a person they can count on and build a relationship. So it's not very satisfying. Being in schools while kids are doing cool stuff, and maybe I can help them, like, on a surface level with, like, oh yeah, let's do this project, or like, oh yeah, this is what they meant when they said do this thing for your essay, or that kind of stuff is cool. Having conversations is cool. When I do get into English rooms, I find, like, it's awesome. Wow, it depends on what they're working on. When I find myself in English rooms that have teachers doing stuff at the time, I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes they just have certain lessons going on where we get to have conversations as a class, and that's my favorite thing. Let's dissect the material, let's talk about the metaphors, let's, like, think what's gonna happen next, and, like, all that stuff is super awesome. That's very rewarding. Those days are few and far between. Usually it's a lot of busy work, which I'm not complaining about it when it's just busy work and everything goes smoothly and it's quiet and kids are productive, because then I, like, get time to read, walk around a little bit, whatever, right? But I mean, it's the in-between. Well, it's not in between at all. What am I saying? It's when it's completely left to center of those things, which is like 50% of the time, I think, where there's a class that's just bananas. And, like, there's, like, either a group that's affecting the whole too much, or just the majority of them or half of them are just, like, too loud, unproductive, some openly defiant, where we can't get work done, where it's too loud to do anything. And it's not the type of, like, volume of product that is, like, from productivity, not from, like, group work and stuff like that. It's just, like, kids not wanting to do anything. And that's the thing, I am there for such a short period of time that they know that it's not going to matter. Like, you know, I am not in a position of authority really. When I'm teaching and actually have, like, a class of my own and stuff, it's different. I have more control. I have the ability to say, okay, look, you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here. Like, why don't you just, we don't, you know, the class is over full anyway most of the times, and, like, you should just drop. If you're not going to come and you're not going to get the credit, why are you here just disrupting the rest of the class or whatever? There's different approaches. I know that sounds really harsh. I don't want to get into all the details, but, like, the point is, as subbing, I don't really have that, because I don't like making empty threats, and I don't want to send people to the office unless it's severe, and then it's just like, hey, well, what am I supposed to do? Just look over your shoulder the whole time, and then the kids in the other room, like half of the room, are doing the same thing as you, and then I gotta go there and then back and forth. Like, it's a constant struggle sometimes with classroom management. I will honestly say that classroom management, like, skills are things I need to brush up on. In high school, I feel like usually it's not as much of an issue for me, but I mean, that's the older the grades, the easier it is, because the kids are still there, they haven't dropped out yet. Generally, they're there to learn, and the people that aren't are a minority. The people that are going to be disruptive are a minority, usually grade 12, for sure. Like, anyway, in middle schools and stuff, it's way tougher, but even in grade 9 and 10 in high school, sometimes it's tough and rough, and where it just doesn't happen. Anyway, work's not being done, it's too noisy, and I get stressed, and, like, my exterior for them is calm. Sometimes they can see the disappointment, but, like, I don't know, I don't show them the I don't know how to explain it. I don't freak out, and I don't yell, and I don't whatever, and there's only so much I can do, and I, like, really quickly resign myself to the fact, like, this is all I can do. And then I'm like, I'm going to be gone at the end of the day, but usually that's not enough sometimes for me to, like, be okay with my day. Whatever. Subbing is such a gamble every time with everything. There's the anxiety of my income that is not guaranteed, and there's the anxiety of being in classrooms where I have no control and the kids are out of control, and they don't want to do anything and be productive. Like, there's a difference between not being productive and being quiet, and not being productive and like just keeping to yourself. And like there was a kid today where he was reading his book. All he wanted to do was read his book. He didn't want to do the assignment. Well, for my purposes, that doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't, you know, I mean, because my thing that I do say when I'm subbing sometimes, but is like one of my go-to things with just teaching in general, is like in high school, is like, no one's forcing you to be here. And these are your marks, and you're responsible for your marks. And if you want to fail, or you want to whatever, or only get a 60, that's up to you. As long as you're not disrupting anybody, that's on you, man. Like, that's, you know, your marks, your grades, that is your responsibility. You know, that's it. So that stuff doesn't bother me. But anyway, yeah, there's good things too that come from, well, whatever. Today I was at the old school I used to work at, so there were some connections there, and the further in time, the further that time passes, there's less and less connections because the students that I taught are gone. But it's interesting, and it was kind of nice today because there was a student who I never had the opportunity to teach because I didn't teach their grade level, but like I was introduced to them last year when I was doing my part-time contract at the beginning of last year, just for that first semester, and they were going into grade 9, and so I got to get to know them a little bit, even though I didn't teach them. And then like they had an older sister that had graduated the year before that I kind of had a little connection with, who was like a great artist and stuff, and now her younger sister, this student is in grade 10 now, and she just like remembered the very short conversations we had, but a lot of it was like, she says like her sister was talking about, like, still talks about me in a positive way, and I was like, I haven't taught her, it's been like a year and a half since I've ever seen her, like, whatever. And it was nice because like she's like showing me her sketchbook and whatever else. Those things are so few and far between. I hate focusing on the negative all the time or being pessimistic or whatever. It's just like really difficult. Like, the sub life is not for me. It's just really not. It makes my heart heavy 50% of the time. And when it's times like this where it's like a positive thing and it's a nice thing, it still makes my heart heavy because I'm just thinking of like, oh man, I miss this, and I don't get to do this. It's so rare that I get to have a positive experience with a student on this personal level, where there's a relationship that's being built, or was, like, or it's continuing somehow, and someone's like asking me for advice on stuff I really want to give, which is like art stuff, and then they're like happy to show me and they appreciate me. Like even if students ask me for help when I'm subbing, which is rare because they just, for some, whatever, a lot of the time students don't think I'm going to know anything about anything, but generally I only take sub calls for subjects that I'm interested in or can be of value in, which is generally English or any of the humanities, really. And I've subbed in other rooms because I need the money. So like someone that I know asked me to sub for math and English, and I was like, yeah, math and science. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm not going to be able to actually help them, right? And he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. So whatever. But anyway, yeah, it's just, it's not something like, subbing is supposed to, I think for most people, be something that you don't take home at the end of the day. Like, because that's the cool thing is like, oh, well, when I'm done work, I just get to go home. And I don't have to do all this extra stuff to prepare for the next day or the next week or whatever. It's like you don't take it home with you. But unfortunately for me, I do take it home at times because it's a lot of anxiety and stress and not being appreciated, like whatever. I don't know. I don't want to go any more into it. I feel like this is way too long for just a section of the vlog anyway. But yeah, that's sub life right now anyway. Stupid ending. Alright, so a couple things. Yeah, weird vlog this week, but I'm wrapping it up right now already. What? Oh, yeah, I applied to a job the other day. I spent time, I mean, this whole vlog is all about teaching and subbing and stuff, but I spent time looking at every school district in Alberta, again, every public school district. There's 42 of them. I looked at all their websites, I looked at all the job postings. There's about 10 for teachers. That's it. So, yeah, that's cool. Obviously, things with the government that we have and the budget being released for Well, just a lot of things, but yeah, education budget has been slashed, which we knew was going to happen. But I mean, like in Calgary alone, they're letting go like 300 teachers, which is ridiculous. Like larger class sizes, less teachers, less money to do more with. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. It was already difficult enough, honestly. Like class sizes were already too big, and I mean like not having. I mean, if we don't have money for teachers, we don't have money for EAs that are much needed in those classrooms, especially the more students you have. It's just it's. I don't want to go into that too much, but let's just say like like it's going to be really really hard to find a job. It was already hard to find a job in this province, and it's going to be even harder. So I don't know what that means for my future, but I mentioned I did apply for a job, so I looked at everything. There was one job in the province that was applicable to me, and it coincidentally is only like 45 minutes away from here. It's not an art job. It's not even an English job. It's like for a outreach school. I think that it would be kind of cool. I think that I could do well there. I don't feel prepared for it. The job is a full-time probationary position that starts in less than a month from now. It starts in like 3 weeks from now is when I want someone to start. There's no way I'm prepared for that at this moment, but I'm so anxiety-ridden, over like subbing and not knowing how much I'm going to get paid and like just yeah. I mean, I need to look into other work because I just need to sustain life, and that isn't easy right now from month to month. So I'm not reaching into like, yeah, I'll go teach in kindergarten. Like, no, this is a high school position. It's at an outreach school. I'd be the only teacher there. But I think it would be cool. Like, I don't feel like I'm reaching beyond my capability. I'm just not prepared for it because I don't have the skill set or knowledge or experience. Well, I shouldn't say I don't have the skill set. I have the skill set. I don't have the experience, and I don't have the knowledge exactly as to how that program would work. And I don't have like the curriculum figured out for all the different subjects that I would have to help out with there, social studies, English. They said it was going to be the humanities, which I'm very comfortable with, absolutely. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks whether or not I get a interview or not. So I'll keep you posted. But that's what's happening in my world. I had a great day subbing today. It's been the first time in a long time where the whole day was flipping fantastic. It was just a half day. I was in the art room at a high school though, so that was fun. I got to make some connections with new students. Just sit down and talk about stuff and like show them a couple things. And like I always get shy, like trying to help out new students too much because I'm like, oh, you don't know me, and like maybe you don't want my help at all and think I'm just some idiot. But yeah, I made a couple cool connections there with students. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I got to just chill out and hang out and do some reading too because there was a prep. Yeah, it was just a really good day, and I'm feeling pretty positive right now. If I don't think about my future too much, then I'm feeling positive. Other thing I want to mention, so there's no other videos this week other than, the conversation that I put out already. But yeah, I do want to say I'm going to put this out for next week. I'm so behind. This is the most behind I've ever been on vlogs and stuff. But I want to talk about it quickly here in case you don't watch the review. I think it's less than 20 minutes, but still, that's a bit for some people. Then again, you're watching this. But this is a book by Guante, who is an amazing artist. He does slam poetry, spoken word stuff. He does write. He writes. I mean, there's a book of his writing that I just showed you. And he is a rap artist as well. Yeah, I would say if you want to know more about it, I highly suggest this piece of literature here. It's a collection of his poems, lyrics, and essays, and I will say that it's really great. It really challenged me a bit, and reminded me of the importance of being open to challenge, and I don't know. It's just I don't want to get into it because I just talked about the whole thing at length, but I got introduced to him through a poem. Spoken word piece through Button Poetry's YouTube channel called 10 Responses to the Phrase Man Up, and it's flippin' fantastic. It was years ago that someone had sent me that, and through there I eventually got into some of his other work, and then got this book, and after a couple months I finally finished it. But it's phenomenal. If you are at all someone who thinks of themselves as progressive, someone who wants to rally against things like racism, homophobia, sexism, this book offers a lot of great conversation pieces, things that you can think about when you are trying to advance, I guess, your community in a certain direction, or like if you want to get involved in a bigger conversation, if you want to actually try and create change. This book gives you a lot of things to look at within you, and it's by no means preachy whatsoever. And also the poetry in there is just beautiful too. But I found it really refreshing. I've never read anything like it. He's coming from a very political, activist type space, and really thinking about community and the betterment of his community and the world at large, but by kind of thinking local, acting local, thinking global, I guess. Yeah, it's just really good. So I would definitely suggest you check out some of his poetry, his spoken word pieces. I will have a link at the end to that one button poetry piece, or that button poetry featured his piece, 10 responses to the phrase "man up," because it just blew me away the first time I heard it. Never gets old. It's fantastic, and that's kind of what sparked my interest in him. So anyway, that's a short little plug for that, and I go really extensive into the whole my thoughts about the whole book in the review that will be out sometime in the next week. So you can look for that. With that, we will see you on another time.